Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What an exciting morning. Not only is this my first speech in front of you all, but you get to hear a little bit about me, so what a win-win situation. So as I was preparing for this speech, I was really looking back at my life kind of in retrospect. And I thought back to my freshman year of high school. And my freshman year of high school, I had to memorize a poem called The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. How many of you have read the poem or are familiar with this poem? Well, the poem actually talks about the roads that we take in life and the impact of the choices that we make along that road have on our lives. So this morning, I'd like to share a couple stories along my road of life. I was born on a cold February day in Wichita to two loving parents that were a product of the baby boom generation. I was welcomed into the world by one older brother, and we lived in a quiet home outside Wichita near the suburb of Derby. My brain was very structured, loving, and supporting of academics and high integrity. As I progressed through high school, the attention towards selecting a career and college became a central area of focus for me. And as I approached these choices, I realized I was going to be faced with a divergent road, as Robert Frost talks about in his poem. The questions raced through my mind: what should I be? What are my interests? Where should I go to college? Through much self-evaluation, I narrowed the options down to two choices. I was either going to become a meteorologist, or I was going to become an engineer. When I was younger, I was fascinated by storms, and especially living in Kansas and growing up in Kansas, we have such a lively weather systems that come through here. So I was especially ingrained in me when I watched a tornado go through the Wichita area in the suburbs of Wichita, April 21st, or April 26, 1991, which was quite a moment in my life because I lived by the Air Force Base, and it actually went right through the Air Force Base. So I stood out and watched this roaring tornado come through town. We eventually went to the basement, but any Kansas person is going to be able to snap a few pictures before. But I was fascinated by the ability of meteorologists to predict weather, try to model weather, and use science and mathematics to develop an understanding and provide assistance to the public about what storms are going to do. On the flip side of the coin, I was pretty good in science and mathematics in school, and I had a number of engineers in the family, so engineering was also kind of a natural route. I was fascinated by the ability of engineers to develop new technologies through the application and creative application of science and mathematics. And as a set of engineers, they created a world that never before existed. That sounds pretty cool. So as I graduated Derby High School, the roads did diverge, and I had to select a major. And I selected the engineering route. I attended Wichita State University on a full-ride academic scholarship where I received a bachelor's and master's degree in industrial engineering. I subsequently attended the University of Maryland at College Park where I received another master's degree through the mechanical engineering department. Once I graduated college, the aerospace companies in Wichita came knocking at my door. And I worked in engineering positions at Boeing and Cessna. While I was at Cessna, I got to be involved with a number of business trips where we got to fly different places. And part of that flying, I got to sit in the co-pilot seat. And I became fascinated by the pilot's ability to precisely manipulate the controls of the airplane, communicate, and monitor weather, all the different things that they're juggling as they're flying the airplane. That interest grew, and I decided to enroll in the Cessna Flying Club, where I began my pilot training. My progress was tenuous at times as I struggled with my fears of flying. Anyone that's been through pilot training, when you land that plane the first time by yourself, that is a very nerve-wracking experience. I also had to battle motion sickness, and as well, a very, very busy schedule around that. But I persevered, and I continued with my training because the exhilaration of controlling another dimension of motion was just unbelievable. But there was a flip side of the coin there with respect to my training that was really exciting, is that I got to get more knowledge of weather. Weather became a very critical piece of being a good pilot, making good pilot decisions, is to understand all the information that's available to you so that you make proper decisions, life and death decisions. So even though the road I took with respect to my career was engineering, it was pretty exciting to be able to take back a piece that I didn't take as a career and use it as part of my flying hobby. experiences in aviation in Wichita allowed for me to get the opportunity to move up here to the Kansas City area to get a job with Garmin, and I work in their aviation side of the business. It's been really exciting over the past year and a half to get involved in Kansas City, buy a home, and become part of the community. So as I continue on my journey of life, I look forward to the many roads ahead that are filled with exciting experiences, places,